YouTube, what it do to Down Home News TV? I am Dre. Hopefully, y'all are having a good afternoon. Got an article from the Daily Mail. Title of the article is British clergyman 69 dies during night of drug-fueled sex with Belgian priest 60, who was then arrested after cops find ecstasy in his Antwerp rectory. What in the world? A British clergyman died after a night of sex and drugs with a Belgian priest, who has since been arrested on drug-related charges, Belgian authorities revealed. Excuse me. The 69-year-old Brit, who has been named, who has not been named, was spending the evening with his fellow cleric, 60, at a rectory in Kalmthout, north of Antwerp, on Thursday. After taking ecstasy and poppers together and having sex, the British priest suddenly fell unwell, the prosecutors stated. Shortly after midnight, his Belgian colleague, identified only as Pastor B, sounds like a rap name, Pastor B, Pastor Troy? Nah, I'm joking. Called the emergency services, who could not resuscitate his companion. The sudden arrest of the pastor visiting colleagues as the Pope traveled through Belgium has left the small parish of Hyde in shock. Guess that's where they were staying at. It appears that two men had used ecstasy and poppers together and had sex, the prosecutor's office revealed on Saturday. Two ecstasy pills were also found, they said on Saturday. Poppers refer to amyl nitrate, a liquid compound that can be inhaled for a brief rush of mild euphoria and dizziness. Traces of narcotics were found on the victim's body. Christoph Ertz of the Antwerp Public Prosecutor's Office said an initial urine test showed ecstasy had been taken, but an autopsy will be required to prove the cause of death. An investigation was ongoing, and the initial autopsy could not immediately provide conclusive information into the exact cause of death, the office added. The 60-year-old priest was questioned by the investigating judge on Friday and gave a statement. The public prosecutor revealed only that same elements of his statement required further investigation. He was later placed under arrest and is now facing charges of trafficking and narcotics resulting in death. Just blame it on the guy that passed. Just say they were his drugs. The man had reportedly been visiting colleagues to coincide with the Pope's visit to Belgium. Pope Francis concluded his weekend trip to Belgium on Sunday after facing some of the strongest criticism yet levied during a foreign visit. In a meeting with Belgian dignitaries on Friday, both King Philip and Prime Minister Alexander De Croo called for a concrete action to help survivors of abuse by Catholic clergy. And in later events at two Catholic universities, officials denounced his stance on the role of women in the church and society. Francis did not specifically mention the criticism at his last event in Belgium on Sunday, a celebration of Mass at Brussels' King Baudouin soccer stadium. Probably saying it wrong, but the Pope did add to the prepared text from his sermon and made a strong condemnation of the Catholic clergy abuse. There is no place for abuse, the pontiff said, drawing scattered applause from the estimated 37,000 attendees. I don't know, it just made me brief pop in my mind about who was it? Obama talking about Trump obsession with crowds. His crowd size, his attendance is nowhere near mine. They're minute in comparison. I can't do a Trump accent. My bad. But continuing on, there is no place for the cover up of abuse. As everyone, do not cover up abuse. As bishops, do not cover up abuse. How come they're not stating the person's name that passed and the person that was associated with the guy's death? I don't know. It's Britain, I guess, or Europe. Things are different over there. The Pope also faced scrutiny on Saturday as he addressed an audience at UC Leuven. Professors and students issued a press release moments after he finished speaking, saying they want to express their disapproval of his views. The Pope's speech at the university largely called for global action on climate change. The climate is changing, Pope. There's nothing we could do about it. Biology 101. But he also responded to a letter to him from students and professors that had asked about the Catholic Church's teaching on women. Francis emphasized that the Church, which banned ordination of women to the priesthood, was not run like a corporation. He described women as having a fertile welcome care and vital devotion. Who is that with him? The Pontiff, 87, prepares to fly back to Rome after a 4-day visit in Luxembourg. Earlier this month, the British vicar, who claimed his crystal meth habit helped him relate to the parishioners, was expelled by the Church of England. That was popped up earlier. Let me reread that. Earlier this month, the British vicar, who claimed his crystal meth habit helped him relate to his parishioners, was expelled by the Church of England. Reverend Jeffrey Balcom admitted to buying and using drugs, including heroin, from time to time over a period of 20 years after police raided his home and found a stash of meth and ketamine in 2022. They put his information in there. Why didn't they air out the guy's name? Two gentlemen that this article's about. Balcom retired from his history St. Mary the Virgin Church of Eastbourne, East Sussex, several years ago, but was still an ordained priest at the time of his offense. A tribunal organization by the Church of England concluded his attempt to justify drug taking as part of his ministry was entirely misconceived. A small amount of crystal meth found was purchased last May, and I sampled a small amount. He told officials, "I totally accept I was wrong to have them. I am only too well aware of the high standards of my calling as a priest." Balcom was permanently banned from any position in the church and faces jail when he's sentenced next month. Well, that's nothing new if y'all ever fell down the rabbit hole of the conspiracies of the Catholic priest and things of that nature. If a priest can't save us, who's going to be able to save us, people? I don't know. Down on this TV, I'm just shaking my head on this one. Y'all have a good one.